welcome back to the Merck Method, where we explore mental wellness, growth, and the human experience. I want to just thank everybody for coming and listening to the podcast today. If this is your first time, welcome. I appreciate you coming on. And if you are one of my followers or have been listening at least for the past so many episodes, welcome back. So for this episode, I'm not going to have a set topic. I just want to get on here and acknowledge a few things. So I want to acknowledge the fact that I have so many followers and new followers for not only the podcast, but also on the Merck Method Instagram and TikTok as well. And with this just starting in June has been such an amazing ride, and it's gone so fast, so quickly, and grown faster than I have expected. And to elaborate on that as well, the Merck Method book should be done hopefully by November 12th and will be available to purchase on 10 different platforms, but I will get into much more of that later on, probably more on Instagram. But none of this would be where it's at without all of you. And I'm just so grateful for all of my listeners and future listeners as well, because really this is just to help you guys find your true path and your purpose, because each one of you has that. And sometimes it's really hard to find. And I was like that as well. And in the previous podcast episodes, I've mentioned it a little bit, and I can elaborate on it again. None of this that I'm doing right now with the psych degree and the counseling stuff, that was ever a thing way back when. It was always about sports with me and my dad, and even my sister as well. And I can even elaborate on that with when I first got my job at a funeral home helping other people. When I told my dad what I was doing, or the job title, let's put it that way, he asked me if I was going to be digging holes at the funeral home, at the cemetery. And because, I've been doing manual labor for 20 years. So it was kind of a joke, and I still laugh about it now, and we would still laugh about it if he was here. So it's kind of it is funny, but to get to the point that I'm at now is such a huge leap from where people put me at when I was back then. And I know that was, kids, you don't know what kids are going to do when they're older. But even in high school, sports was still a thing. And the kids were, some of them, not everyone, but a lot of those kids were kind of ruthless. And, a lot of them said, I wouldn't really amount to much because I wasn't in the huge it crowd back then. And, that was tough. High school was tough for me for multiple reasons, because I was really trying to fit in everywhere, and it just wasn't the case. And I lost myself a lot because of that. And it took me a very, very long time to really find myself in that person that I lost a long time ago. And that kid was just scared of not being noticed. And it's very difficult to grow up like that and then as an adult almost feel the exact same way. So when you're trying to do things and stand out in one way or another, and you're getting overlooked, and you're doing it for the right reasons, there's just no acknowledgement, it is very tough to grasp that, right? But at the same time, I don't hear from any of those people that have talked to me in that way where they looked down to me, and I don't hear about them at all. I mean, I hope they're doing well, because I don't really want anybody to struggle at all, but it's kind of at least a little bit of a proved you wrong kind of scenario for me. I mean, I earned that. And, you know, I feel for people that when this happens to them too, and I have a lot of times I hear it not only with my clients, but just in general with friends and friends of friends. And I really want people to understand because I think a lot of times people think I've got a lot of education behind me now and the book's coming out and this podcast and I'm doing so many good things. It seems like I'm like the sky's the limit and everything else, but man, it took a lot out of me to get to this point. It's not just it just keeps falling for me. I had to work a hard time for this. But at the same time, it's really so rewarding because I myself, again, did not think I was going to get to this point. And I think a lot of people feel that same way, especially when they start something that they took a leap of faith with, that they feel like that's their purpose, but they're just not sure and it's uncharted territory. Just remember, you can do whatever you want to do. You just have to talk positively to yourself because that's where it starts. Because if you're talking negatively to yourself, that's what you're hearing, and that's what you're molding your brain to understand that you're just not good enough for this, that, and the other. So you got to actually be mindful of what you say to yourself because that's who you're listening to the most. And somebody planted that seed that for some reason said that you weren't good enough. But how do they know that? How do they know that you're not good enough? Or how do they know that you're not smart enough or you're not capable of doing this, that, and the other? That's their opinion. It doesn't make it a fact. But the problem with it is you latched onto that seed and just let it grow. And then it grows in other things. So now you're doubting so many other things. And then that also brings anxiety and possibly depression and anything else in between. You have to remember that you are capable of doing anything you put your mind to. But you also have to be positive to yourself. And hopefully that reflects positivity to other people. It worked for me. I mean, I used to be hugely negative for everything. You would find the negative in everything. Somebody would tell me something. I'm like, well, you know what? It's going to rain today. Traffic's going to be bad. I might as well just not go. It's not even worth it because I'm taking that seed that was planted and then just grew upon it. And then everything else was negative. Works both ways. And that's what I'm trying to do with this Merck method is really reflecting not just kindness, but positivity as a whole, because it works wonders. If you see people that are negative and then you sit with it, you are going to reflect the environment that you sit yourself in. If you're sitting with people that you so-called think are your friends and they're just keep talking about people in a negative light, guess what you're going to do? You're going to do the exact same thing. Or you sit with friends that build you up, talk positive about you, or talk positive about themselves. And then you will reflect that same light. And then other people will notice. You have kids, they'll notice it too. I'm not saying that you have to be positive all the time, but I'm going to tell you this. If you're positive and you're reflecting that positive mindset, you're going to sit in the same environment and with the same group of people that feel the same way. And of course, if you're negative all the time, that's what you're going to sit in and you guys are going to be miserable together. But nobody really wants that. It takes so much out of you to be that kind of negative. And again, I was there, so I know it's draining. Nobody wants to be like that. No one deserves to be like that. You deserve to be in a position where you can thrive. And it doesn't matter what kind of position it is, job wise, family wise, you just need to be happy. Being happy is being positive. And I guarantee you, if you sit around other people that will lift you up, your life will change on so many different levels. It'll be so surprising. Keep being surprised by things that have happened to me and how I've changed my outlook for everything. It's a honor to be still doing what I'm doing and continue to do what I'm doing and to be acknowledged by people who come up to me or actually take words and things that I have said, whether it be in the Merck Method podcast or in my sessions, which makes me feel like people are really listening. And I'm trying to hit as many people as I can. If I help one person each day, that's a win for me. There's a lot of people in this world, but if I can get at least one person a day, then I feel like I've done my job. But I'm not going to stop. I've come too far to get to this point to not continue to help other people. And I'm going to continue to branch out and continue to push this Merck method. Like I said earlier, the book I'm working on, I've got a lot of things going on, but it's all for you guys. It's not just for me. Helping you guys is what fuels my cup. And I tell everybody with self-care, you have to get your fuel from something. It's something that usually makes you feel good, taking care of yourself. And a lot of my fuel comes from helping other people. And I'm getting better at taking care of myself and kind of tapping out when I'm feeling frustrated. Like this week is going to be huge because I've got a lot of things going on. I'm trying to edit the book and I've got a lot of stuff going on for school. And, work is always tough as well. But I've got a great support system around me and hopefully you do as well. And if not, you know, we're here for you. There's people for you. I'm here for you. Listen to this podcast. Reach out if you need help. I will definitely help in any way I can. Just remember that you are important. Okay, that's the bottom line. Maybe you did some things that you felt were not the best of choices in your past, or people have doubted you for forever. But that doesn't mean that you deserve to sit in that negative mindset of yourself. No one is perfect. You can learn from mistakes, you can learn from everything, but it has to be on you. No one is holding your hand. You have to take this into account that you are in control of you and you are the one that is going to push you the hardest. People can tell you what to do, people can give you guidance, people can give you information, but you are the one that has to get up in the morning. You have to be the one that does what needs to be done. But you can do it. I mean, I'm proof that that's true. I mean, I was going to give up a lot of times. I told you before, I was struggling so bad. I mean, I was ready to just end everything. This was a long time ago. This isn't recent. But at one point in time, I was pretty much fed up with everything. And God wasn't ready for me to call it quits yet. And apparently, I'm supposed to be sitting here helping all of you. And that's fine. That is my strength. To take the stuff that I have gone through, the crap that I have dealt with, and some of it is on my own problem, and I've learned from it. But I'm using it to have you understand that you matter regardless of what has happened in your past. Or leaps of faith on things that you've wanted to do you just haven't done with because you've doubted yourself. Well, that time is done. It's now time to understand that you are worth those leaps of faith and to find your purpose and your happiness. We're not messing around anymore. We're not going to be stuck in this rut because you don't deserve that. I'm going to keep sitting here and keep pushing you until you take that leap. Stop putting yourself on the back burner. But you have to put the work in. You have to understand that you have to build yourself back up. Other people will talk it to you, but again, you are the one that has to deal with all of the work and changing your perspective on not only yourself, but your surroundings and put yourself in a better position, in a more positive light, where then that happiness can then reflect outward. Okay. My dad was one of those people that really just wanted to help everyone. And I never really saw it until after he passed. I saw that he did help everyone, while he was still here, but really didn't grasp the concept until after he was gone. And so many people would tell me and still tell me Oh, your dad was awesome. He was so nice. He cared about everybody and he did. And I think he hit that point where he had all these struggles previously and just was tired of it was just tired of being negative. He was tired of taking crap from people and he just wanted to just be happy. Of course, the grandkids helped that as well. He loved his grandkids more than anything, but he showed me that helping as many people as you can, even in the littlest ways, was still such a positive impact. One of the couple of the biggest things that he used to tell me was, open the door for people. And if somebody does something for you, say please and thank you because they don't have to do that for you. Well, that's true. So I hold the door for everybody. You can ask pretty much everybody that I talk to. I'm always opening the door for strangers. And it makes a big difference, trust me. But that little act of kindness can then reflect from them to somebody else. And then so on and so forth. And that's what we're just trying to do. The Merck method is trying to just make some of those little lights in everybody reflect to somebody else and just keep going. Again, I just wanted to take a moment to just pause here and really just truly thank you guys for listening to this. Whether you're tuning in when you're driving to work, maybe you're sitting at home at night, or maybe taking a walk in the morning, or just having a cup of coffee and, sitting at lunch and listening to this. This means more than I can put into words. That support, that encouragement, and just your presence make this podcast possible. Knowing that my words and my stories are resonating with you, maybe in a small way, but that still fuels me to keep creating this podcast and sharing this information with you. You continue to remind me that this connection and the growth of this podcast, the hope for all of you are not just ideas, but they're really just experiences that we can share together. I really do appreciate not only the time, but also the energy you bring in this space. Every download, every share, every kind word that I see, I will respond to it, encourages this growth. It's also a reminder that we are walking in this journey together, that we all have some kind of connection, and that you're not alone. I say that so many times, but it's true. You are not alone. To me, you're not just my listeners. You're part of the heartbeat of the Merck method. And I am deeply grateful for each and every one of you every single time that I see that you've played this episode. I want to just thank all of you for allowing me to be a voice in your day-to-day world and for letting my podcast episodes become a part of your story. And hopefully I'm making a little bit of difference for you each and every day. Just remember, each and every one of you is truly amazing inside and out. And don't you ever forget that, and you won't. If you're on this podcast daily, I will tell you that you are amazing and that you're not alone and we do all care. And as I leave you, always, I'm going to leave you with this. Stay grounded, stay kind to yourself, and remember, strength begins with honesty. Until next time.